Good morning, evidence-informed chiropractors. I'm Dr. Anthony Pellegrino from ChiroEdge, and today, for our weekly research breakdown, we're going to be breaking down 3 different case studies. Last week, we were back to some larger studies. This week, we're going to be back to some case studies. Now, there's 3 different studies we're going to be looking at. There's one on fibromyalgia. Okay, there's one on the sensitivity of a gag reflex in a baby and an infant, and then one on erectile dysfunction, everybody's favorite topic. All right, so what I like to talk about with fibromyalgia is actually, I think this is something that's really, really important. This is a case study from a mid-30s, about a mid-30s woman who had been diagnosed with fibromyalgia, and this is all about upper cervical care, as well as changes in her atlas plane angle, as well as her cervical curve. She had a 0-degree curve. It improved by 20 degrees over the course of a couple months with just upper cervical adjusting, so that's pretty awesome. But what's really interesting about fibromyalgia is just the diagnosis, and I think this is something that's really important as you educate your practice members on fibro and you use this handout this week, is actually understanding the diagnosis. Now, what the diagnosis used to be, and it changed a couple years ago, what it used to be was there was basically 18 different pressure points or pain points in the body, and the neurologist, what he would do is he would just press them, right? Same thing as like an algometer that we would use with the Insight. If you guys use that, I don't know if you guys do, we don't personally, but that's what that measures. There's 18 different points, and if 11 of those hurt, just 11 of those 18 hurt, you have fibromyalgia. If 10 hurt, you don't, right? So the amazing thing is that it has nothing to do with the cause of fibro. It has nothing to do with it. It's just, hey, if you hurt in these 18 different places, right, you have fibro. So I used to make the joke that if I go to the gym hard enough, right? If I go to the gym hard enough, I could be diagnosed with fibromyalgia. Now, here's the nice thing to know about the pharmaceutical industry, is there's 2 different ways to make more money on drugs, right? One, the first thing that they can do is they can charge more, okay? But with insurance being the way that it is, they don't really get to do that much. So the other thing they can do is, number 2, is they can expand the diagnosis. So that actual, like, physical examination that they did for fibro, that's gone now. They're not doing that anymore. What they're doing now is, I think it's chronic pain, right? Pain for a period of 3 months. It's 3, 4, 6 months, right? But it's just chronic pain, right? That's it. Expand the diagnosis. How many people? I think such a good percentage of people, right, especially that come into our office, if they haven't taken care of their nerve system, if they haven't taken care of their body for years and years and years, I think there's a good amount of people that could fall into that. So we're going to see that a lot more. We're going to see a lot more people taking more drugs for that, just because the diagnosis is just so broad now. So over the course of a few months, this young woman with fibro had a 20-degree improvement in her cervical curve with upper cervical care and 100% relief of symptoms, improved quality of life, vitality, and I mean, that's what it's all about, right? It's not just about the pain, but it's about what she can do now, how she can go live her life. The fact that she can be in her 30s, right, and not feel like she's in her 90s, and that's great. The next study that we looked at was erectile dysfunction. So it's a really, really funny, not funny, but it's a very important topic. I believe in the year 2000, erectile dysfunction cost the U.S. healthcare system about $330 million. So it's definitely something widespread. There's a significant percentage of men who will experience some form of ED in their life. And this was all about Gonstead care, specific adjusting to the lumbar spine, especially L5. And over the course of a few months, what this 52-year-old gentleman said was that, hey, I've been experiencing ED since I was 22. Since 22 years old, though the whole thing hasn't been working right. Since 22 years old, he's been experiencing this. With specific chiropractic adjusting, he said that he had increased activity down there, right? Longer lasting improvements. That's what he said. That's his quote, longer lasting improvements. In the penis region, so longer lasting improvements compared to the Cialis that he'd been taking for years, right? Bottom line, if there's nerve interference going anywhere in the body, if we perform specific chiropractic adjustments to correct that, wherever those nerves are going to function better, and that's it. Now, the last case study that we looked at this week was all about projectile vomiting, sensitive gag reflex in an infant. Okay, now a sensitivity of the gag reflex, basically what this child was experiencing was that their gag reflex was so sensitive that they would projectile vomit, right? Nice and easy. I love pediatrics. We definitely see how, improving the function of the nervous system is going to relate to improvements overall and things from constipation, reflux, just overall quality of life, ear infections everywhere. But this was gag reflex so sensitive that there was projectile vomiting. They vomited once after their first adjustment and never did again for 10 months, which is phenomenal, right? If you think about how much their life is going to change, right? What else that interference could cause throughout their life, and the fact that that's been corrected at such a young age, I mean, that's the reason we wake up in the morning. So we love that. If you guys have any questions about anything, if you have any requests for a research breakdown in the future, go ahead and post it in the comments below. I want to thank you guys so much for caring about evidence, for caring about research, and for being a part of our family here. Thank you guys so much.